Hello there everyone and welcome back. I am not happy with how sloppy these games feel. A lot of it comes down to the fact of having to multitask the commentary as well as playing optimally, which make it incredibly difficult for me. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to be doing some matches off recording every now and then. It's just to help get that muscle memory back in, to make things a little bit more convenient for the videos themselves. Hell, don't get me wrong, I'm not upset because I'm losing horribly in embarrassing fashion, but it's more, I feel like it may hinder the quality of the video itself, mind you, trying to do arguably two things at once. Whereas once I figure out what my main strategy is and what I should be doing with the muscle memory as I mentioned already, then that should make my life a lot more simpler and a lot better. That's the hope anyway, and if I can get back to my former glory that I had before when I was playing Starcraft II, all the better. But I don't think we're going to get that in like a month's time or however long I'm planning on doing these videos. But what I will do probably is to do some Twitch streams occasionally of my off-recording matches. The only exception is I'm probably going to do very little if any commentary on those, so I'm not likely to transfer over to YouTube for that reason, as compared to my other Twitch streams that I have been doing as of late. So it will be something different and something I'm interested in seeing on how it actually functions. But for now, let's continue on and hope I don't embarrass myself that much more, shall we? Alright, immediately we're jumping right into another Zerg match, and I think I have at least a decent grasp on what I should be doing. It's just a matter of execution, for it does require me to do a playstyle I'm not really accustomed to just yet, and that is using the adepts mostly. So we'll see how this goes, for this would really be the first time I actually get to use the adepts, let alone actually use them optimally. So this could go badly, but I'm interested in trying them out. And how it's going to work is instead of a forge, I'm probably going to do the gateway instead of place of the forge, which in theory should allow me to get a lot more aggressive and be more tenacious and force, do a lot more interruption to my opponent's economy. And remember, we want a gateway. It is a little bit slow since my probe is not there immediately, but this is gold rank. I like to believe this is kind of a normal thing for a lot of people. It's a little bit unique in my case, since of course, as I said, I'm trying to do the commentary as well. But we'll see. And sadly, they already got that up the hatch rate, so there's not a lot I can do there, but I am curious. Should I immediately try to grab this thing? Actually, I think I get the cybernetic core first, so that way I can quickly get my adepts up as fast as possible before a set of harassment, and I might as well leave at least a single probe up here, even though I really dislike the idea of that. It's not really mine for me, it's the reason I don't like it. So it could be doing so much more. Nonetheless, we saw the gas, we saw the pool. We're just going to keep scouting around and maybe just deter this thing some. And what I'm going to do is at least have like 2 workers on each simulator for now. There, and Nexus is down. It's a little bit of a later one, so it requires me to do damage for this to really be able to come back in the economic game at least. So this will be my first time using them. Remains to be seen how this works. Nope, and I didn't even hotkey my thing, so that's a shame, but that'll be corrected soon. Now, I think what I need to do is maximize the amount of units I'm building. Try and get another structure built there, I suppose, to help with the wall off. Yeah, it's a pylon, that's why. I'm not used to this since I'm not really building units at this early on, since I'm so used to the cans, which don't really take up any of that supply count. But it hasn't really interrupted anything too much. Not yet. It's that second adept that's going to be problematic, or at least going to be hindered. And there's not a lot I could do about this overlord, which conveniently is in a bad spot. I could see it if I were to build a stalker. In the meantime, let's get to scouting, see if we can spot something quickly. And I gotta learn the value of these adepts, which is its ability to teleport itself around. And what that's supposed to do, I can phase around really quickly, but it's gonna make this really micro-intensive since I don't know how to functionally how exactly to do this, especially since I'm supposed to have 2 adepts ideally for this exchange. Since I can 2-shot the workers with 2 adepts, it's just not the most convenient. And I might as well get a Stalker to try and deal with that, oh, am I? Oh, dang it. Ah, that stinks. That was the one I had rallied too, so much for my strategy. It did spawn a good number of Zerglings, but a lot of this sloppiness is because I'm playing with something I haven't no experience with. Again, a lot of this is due to lack of muscle memory, and with a brand new unit it makes it even more difficult. I want to say that was promising. How much did we actually kill though? 2 Zerglings and just a drone it looks like, so maybe it's not as exciting as it may sound. And I want to try... Oh, here comes the Zerg. That's unfortunate there. I could have blocked it off, it wouldn't have done a whole lot of damage. Can we at least get in here? Maybe not the most... Maybe it's the sloppiest way to go about it, but I'm hoping it hinders the amount of damage on my probe some. Dang it, it killed all of them. So maybe that wasn't as brilliant as I thought it was. It's also part of the reason why I need to be aware and have that optimized too. A Stalker takes up a lot of space, it would be really good. Otherwise, this is just a mess for me. I will take full responsibility for this failure right now. And saw the kind... He also saw the Stargate, so... From what I understand though, Stargate is kind of like the go-to type of build, and I didn't even get a shot at this dang Overlord, even though I technically see it, do I? So that's unfortunate. It's gonna scare it off. It's not gonna do me much value though, killing it. Since if I stood here, I don't even... Actually, how much... that was a 2x space. That would have been so much more better if I had, like, a 3x3 building, another gateway. Maybe that's what I should have done. Get an extra gateway here. That would have done a world of difference for me there. For all this time, I thought maybe I had is like a 1 building size. So that would have allowed me to block that off and just done so much with just the Stalker and just Adept there stalling. Never mind the fact if I had the dang, was it a sentry for the force fields, that would also help in that regard. And probably could have had a forge as well in preparation for that. I wasn't paying attention too much. There's a lot for me to have to deal with here with this brand new unit. It's exciting times, but in the case of this specific match, it makes it horrible for me. Since I'm way behind there, I thought maybe having my probes grouped up there would have been decent. They did eventually kill off the majority of them, but it wasn't worth it. That was the example of the phasing when you, or the mineral walking when you try and mine the crystals in action though. Oh well, this is fine.
We meet our fate.
This is unfortunate that it was so damn sloppy. I'm not happy with that. And I messed up with just Adept in general, so can I just say that we got the bad match out of the way? Even if this is technically going to be part of the recording? We'll see. Alright, mirror match. I have a good sense of what to do here. I think for the purposes of this, just to see how much of a difference, at least demonstrate how much of a difference it makes, I'm going to limit back my commentary a much more noticeable amount, I feel like. Since I am trying to learn Protoss as well, I have a good sense of what to do. But I think this is for the sake of experimentation, so you can witness, hopefully, what I'm talking about. So I think the plan is we're going to go with the Adepts, try and play with them more despite my lack of experience, and go with the Double Gateway. So wish me luck, and during the downtime I'll just keep the commentary going, but I think the plan is pretty straightforward. 2 gateways, we're going to have Adepts, we're going to try and get aggressive with them. It'll be a great way to learn how to use the unit as a result of that. Still going to be tricky, mind you, since I need to know the nuances. The big trick though is when do I build the second gate? I think I go for it immediately if I'm not mistaken. Which is something I don't really like, if I were to be honest. It seems so foreign to me, to a fake extent, and I think that was a bad build placement too, since I don't think a pylon can properly wall that off either. But now we get the gas. Get ready for a cyber core. Ooh, this would also be a good demonstration of why double gate at the ramp is important. If I do this right.
You have not enough minerals.
I don't even need the pylon just yet, since I'm not going to be building to sell it. But as you can see, the Cybernex core is a little bit ahead of mine, which is going to be felt.
Your probes are under attack.
Just gotta make sure there's nothing sneaky here, and figure out what units he's building, with that said. Now we'll build a second... No, I don't think I need a second pylon, do I? Not yet. Got the units built. I'm a little bit behind, but only a few seconds. Yeah, that second pylon actually did slow me down a tiny bit. I could have had that unit built faster, and maybe it's because... Oh, here's an example of mineral walk, although I didn't need it. I probably... Yeah, let me chrono boost this one out to help speed along. I kind of want to see what gets built, so I know what kind of game to expect.
Glory to the Daylon.
Your probes are under attack.
I think these are stalkers, otherwise they would be out already. I think.
Glorious combat is upon us.
Oh, we killed a probe. I think that's what happened there.
It shall be.
Your probes are under attack.
Yep.
The firstborn shall persevere.
I at least can get my probe safe, but now I'm stuck on the defensive as a result of this.
Executor. We. For Solendis. Give us your command.
I don't think we could kill this in time. So that was a bad start, because again, the timing. I didn't realize those things were out already, since he didn't go after my dang units, so that really sucks. It's slowed me down tremendously, and now my aggressive play with the Adepts may not be as effective as I want them to be.
Ire shall be reclaimed.
Okay, 2 Stalkers, that's fine.
Search complete.
The Templar. I have met the enemy. Let none.
Yeah, warp gate's up, so let's see how this works exactly. Probably a terrible idea.
Faith, let your will be heard. Yes, Executor? We are. Victory for the firstborn. I am the will of the higher-up. Give us your command.
Okay, I don't know how many we actually killed there, if it was worth it. I like to think it was worth it, but I wasn't paying attention to much of my build back here as a downside in that regard.
You have not enough minerals.
And I haven't really... Yeah, I think my worker count's really behind too, so this doesn't help me in this regard either. But it's a learning experience. There's not much I can say in that regard. Now I need defensive units, since I actually have no units at the moment, which is a little bit problematic. Maybe even a mistake to go with the oracles there. I never did pay attention what the follow-up was. Yeah, that answers that. If I had a Phoenix, I would have had that out able to shoot these down already. I'm just slow on everything. It's another example of why this is an issue. But this does take up energy. It has almost no energy left.
Teleport successful. On the wings of justice.
Come on, Phoenix. I thought I told you to attack that thing.
Your probes are under attack.
It's a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, this is nothing but sloppy, unfortunately, on my part. Since my opponent just has everything faster than me. Never mind the fact that I guess I lost more units than I realized in that Oracle Adept charge. I did some decent damage on my own, but I don't think that matters. Now, what's my follow-up? That's the only thing I don't know. How do I follow this up properly with this pitiful exchange?
Give us your command.
You have not enough minerals.
And my Phoenix did not kill the Oracle. That's unfortunate. It did keep it back, I suppose, as a plus. So there's always that, I suppose. I would have liked an Oracle myself, but I should have immediately gone for the Phoenix to minimize the damage. Since again, we talked about how slow and behind everything my build was it technically. So how do we salvage this? Just get the economics strong. And get some units building. I am worried about going more air since we know he has a starport. I would like to get some immortals to help deal with his I probably would have killed that there since I got the first shot. But we know he built at least his own type of Phoenix. Now, I think what I will commit to the Immortals may be a dumb idea, but at least it gives me Observer for maybe Fission. Oh, what am I don't want you in my group. I want you to go scout for me. That's probably the best use I can ask for you. To an extent. Although now, it's stuck in my main hotkey group. For some reason, my hotkey combination to recreate the group is not working there. And I gotta be ready. Well, let me get a bunch of sentries. Let's see. He's got cannons. Let's keep an eye out for a Third. I'm gonna do something risky. Since I don't know what the ideal build's gonna be. So we'll get a Third out as I scout around for a Third and maybe some tech. Oh, Twilight Council, so he's going Blink Stalkers. So Immortal's good in that regard, so long as he doesn't get on the high ground there. That's the exception. That can be a nightmare for me. Again, economy is probably a big deal too. Since my economy is probably pretty weak there, but I'm watching for a Third. Okay. Blink Stalker's on the way. This is kind of where I regret having this nexus here and not over on the side where it can't be seen. Oh, and I have no pylons too. That doesn't help me. So much going on there. I'm forgetting my basic skills. Let's at least get these batteries built, shall we? Because it's intimidating. He does have Blink, which means they're probably going to jump up there due to the Phoenix. That's a likely circumstance to have happen.
You have not enough minerals.
I'm here in the shadows.
You have not enough minerals.
Oh, did I actually shoot my own unit? I don't know if I actually did or not. You got a Warp Prism. Yep, you have Blink. I kind of already knew that.
I am eager to strike.
This will be tricky to do, to sneak out my units, especially since I don't have an Observer just yet to effectively scout. Although technically I have a Phoenix, so why do I need an Observer, to be fair? It just feels more comfortable. Oh god, he saw it, and he has charge lots too. Although I can force him back. I have the power. I have the means. Do I have my own Twilight Council, though? I will in a moment. I am doing okay there on army front, surprisingly. But my Phoenix did die, so now I do need an Observer. Actually, that's not true either. What is it? I'm trying to remember my hotkeys for my hallucination. It takes double damage, but as you can see, it will be very useful for scouting as a free unit in that regard. Only thing I don't know is if I want to get Disruptors or Colossus. I don't think it would be useful, but Immortals are so damn good against the heavy Stalkers we're going to be encountering. And the big problem is he has mobility, I do not. So I'm going to be a bit of an underdog and playing really passive, and let me get some Archons. I have so much gas, this would be a great way to start burning that. So he does have that fourth, or third up. And also, let's get more gas. With me pulling so much gas, huh? And I need more gateways to help supplement what I have expected for this, my base. There's where Oracle was all this time, unfortunately. Yeah, he had a Warp Prism. We kind of already knew that, sadly. This is where my immobility is going to punish me quite heavily. And also, having a battery would have been really useful in that regard, but I think I can just go straight up kill him. It is a possibility there. I need my other gateways up for that to really matter. I need my Templar, I need my Archons, ideally. And I also need my own type of, what is it, Warp Prism in this regard. This will be really damn helpful.
Research complete.
It'll be a great way to burn my gas, and the Warp Prism will allow me to reinforce myself. Now let's make this count. I almost think I should go all in, but I need more gateways if I'm going to do that properly, I think. Since I'm giving him a lot of time with that damage he did, I'm just a little bit worried about not being prepared. Level 2 is about to finish. I'm waiting for this Warp Prism to finish too. That's going to be really damn important for this attack. And he's not seeing this coming.
We are focused.
Now for rock.
My charge.
Engaging the enemy. Mineral field depleted.
Un Orkai Atum. We are focused.
My light for hire.
Alright, this is... we'll see how well this works. This is probably not going to work to my liking, especially with Tempest already out. But I am doing damage there. He doesn't quite have the Golden Armada fleet he would like. And he does have Dark Templar, or at least I think I'm hearing them. Can I get warped then? It was good, but it's over now, I think, at this point. I was a little bit too slow and my economy got hindered too much, but that was still a good push. Again, just a story of it being delayed. And was pretty unoptimized, but I think that wasn't too terrible for someone who doesn't know what they're doing. That had merit. The opening, as I said before, everything felt too slow. I wanted to get aggressive with the Adepts, and as we saw, he had his Adepts in my base before I could even get to his. Probably because he was using that phase ability, which actually has greatly higher movement speed than my regular Adepts. He probably used them immediately, and then jumped again once he got close to my base, on top of a lot of other things. So being optimized was a perfect example of why I should have been optimized. We probably would have traded better, and if I saw his Adepts, I could have put like a building to wall off that ramp, which is kind of the entire reason why the gateways are along that ramp to begin with. All you have to do is put a pylon down, and they get wedged out. They cannot phase through the buildings, even if I were building a pylon at the time. And since my opponent did not have gateways on the ramp, that would have been advantageous for me. So, like I said, it's a bit of a learning experience, but at least an improvement. At least compared to my Zerg. Another rematch against Zerg, same map as my Protoss mirror match, so this will be interesting. Can I apply what I learned, at least with my experience with this map? And I'm just putting my location hotkeys down if I can start remembering to use them, since I was really bad at using location hotkeys beforehand, to the point that I should have my gate down already, or pylon. I'm not used to like having so many probes so early on too. Normally you start off with like 6, so you have a bit of build or time to get set up, which has made apparent since I have all this travel time. It gets really thrown off with me having to put a gateway. Never mind the fact that I would have to throw down like buildings on this natural ramp. So it really throws things off quite a bit for me, and it's definitely gonna suck for me trying to get this build order optimized. But we'll take the punches where we can. I don't even think I need the gas. That's a bit of a waste. And I wasn't even paying attention to... Oh, ooh, fast pull. I'm gonna have to check. I'm gonna check, see when that hatchery came down. Someone's really paranoid about... Or could be doing an aggressive push. That's a possibility too. I'll just put one in there for now. So he just put down the hatchery. Everything is delayed economically. And I worry my pylon may be too close. Nope, it's good. I actually think I will get a cell to help wall off there. That's like the perfect unit for fighting Zerglings and walling off, in all honesty. It can... Well, it can't quite two-shot Zerglings, but if I ever get like a weapon or an armor advantage, I can two-shot them based on upgrade alone. So that's the main reason why that's important in that regard. Oh, and I should have got my Nexus up too, so that's slow. But I think considering he went much more aggressive spawning pool, I'm fine with that.
You have not enough minerals.
Now we need another building there. And I didn't check too much there, unfortunately, but we didn't see a new building go down, so it's not like he's sneaking something else in. So that is potentially my weak link there. Let's get this going. Get the Adepts building. I should rapidly build my second Adept, since two of these are really important.
Yes, Executor. Hordes Allah. Let none deter us.
There, let's get going. We got ourselves some easy Zerg kills, which I'm fine with.
Glory to the day.
With that said, let's get this gas optimized as much as possible, since I'm going to need it if I'm going to go Starport afterwards.
It shall be done.
And yeah, like I said, I should be phasing my units forward because that'd be a lot more faster, a little more micro-intensive. So that's going to be something I can improve on later.
Serve with pride.
And now I gotta really get a sense on how far away I can go with this. Since I can cancel that phase ability, as you can see, and really throw them off if they decide to defend. Or if they're in position to
I have
defend.
met the enemy.
Damn it.
Forward. We are of one mind. Combat, where shall we march?
That was close there. They got a lot of Zerglings. Oh, I have it on the wrong. I have them on the wrong hotkey. That's why it was bad. I sent them to Group 5 instead of Group 6 there. That's what went wrong. But we're doing good otherwise. At least actually getting kills in that. I have way too many workers in my Nexus, mind you, so I need to ease off on that.
One mind. Face before
Yeah, you can see the result here. It really terrifies them.
march.
This is arguably
Your will be heard.
the cheesy mechanic towards the Adepts, and that was probably not worth it. That was not worth it in the slightest, sadly. And now they're going to be tempted to try and get aggressive. And I never used this as an opportunity to even scout what my opponent was doing right now either. That would have been good. That would have been another bonus that I could have used that for.
You have not enough minerals.
But I do... He does see a Stargate, sadly, with that convenient Zergling push. I could have backed up a little bit, and he wouldn't have seen it, but I kind of was already predicting maybe they were prepared for that. Let's just get our base and structures all set up and economy going. So far our economy isn't terrible. So far, but that can easily change with Speedlink's able to run past me. And if I remember correctly... If I remember correctly, there's a lot of Archons and Adepts involved for the next phase, although I could have been continuing to build Adepts, to be honest, so... I'm missing on potential value there. But I think what I'm going to do is get my Zerg going and get defenses ready. Normally, Zerg like to go Hydras and Zerglings, if I'm understanding correctly.
You must construct additional pylons. You must construct additional pylons.
Oh, and I need pylons, so that's helpful.
Our window is short.
So let's see, do they have the assert or not? Keep an eye on these and try and keep them alive, with that said.
An Aerodine.
Your probes are under attack. Our pylon is under attack.
How can I aid you? I see.
We got
Glory
roaches,
to
so
the
that's
table.
something to keep in mind.
Extrapolating strings.
Yeah, these are a little bit finicky to control. Since their attack is actually an activated ability, it doesn't seem like it's as smooth to try and get those attacks in like I would want. I have to do hold position if I want to effectively attack.
Azutai. It is destined.
It wasn't terrible, mind you. I did lose one of them, though, my oracles. But the main idea is to try and harass, use them for scouting later on. And actually, I need to get my upgrades going, too. So let's get that started. Everything's probably a little bit late, but I'm okay with that. So far, it hasn't been terrible, my exchange. We did some good circling damage. Now, I want to go into charge lots with the Twilight Council and go into Archons as quickly as possible. I just worry everything's late. Oh, and he has roaches here too. Into Ravagers, so I need some Stalkers is what that says. So those are the Ravagers there. Can I actually? Yeah, I try to tell it to do an attack move and it's not working out very well, is what I'm learning here. But if I could kill that, that'd be great.
I see.
That's value there. I just gotta be mindful I may get flanked up front here. I should have known he was gonna go roaches because of what we saw already. So maybe Blink might be a better idea. Let's commit with Archons. I don't know how effective Archons would be against the roaches, mind you, but
The threads of fate
that's
lie
what
bare.
route we're going through. So long as I'm on equal basis as him, I'm okay with that. And no, I don't want to type to him just yet. Well, let's try and keep in our game. I got way too many resources though, so let's start spending that. If I can get my economy back down, and that's going to easily be alleviated a lot with Archons since they're so gas intensive with the High Templar, I will be able to bring that down quickly. It's the question if I'm going to have too many production structures with that said. Since each of these High Templar costs me like 150 gas each. But they're what I use for my Psi Storms. Archons will be useful, and maybe I should get some Immortals handy. Since I got the supply now, at least. It just prompts a very long cooldown for my warp gates to get back up.
Thus I serve.
An Aerodine Rashagar.
Now I just want to scout for a fourth. That's what I'm most worried about. If I'm on the same economy as him, I should be in good shape. And ideally, if I don't get ambushed, that's even better.
We shall
Upgrade complete.
That should give me 5 Archons
solve data
with the 10 Templar I just made. 2-2 is building. And charge is about to finish, so you know, this is a perfect time once that... Oh, this is convenient. He decided to go into Hydras, which is kind of what I'm built for with these Celis and Archons. Now let's just chip off what we can, build ourselves a fourth as a result of that. And what I want to do is get a Warp Prism, since I can keep building units as a result of that. At least I could keep pushing when I get a victory like that, mind you, and force him to keep building units and forfeit his reinforcing, or forfeit his economy. Since if I don't have a Warp Prism, we have to wait that long to actually warp in reinforcements, which can be a huge liability, needless to say. But in the meantime, we'll get a couple of Immortals for good measure. And I want to play... Ooh, let's play with Dark Templar. I really do enjoy Dark Templar. I don't play with them nearly enough, with that said. And I gotta make sure these Templar get out first, since I don't think they can actually fit through that little opening. Oh, and I still have an Oracle I've forgotten about too.
Research complete.
So let's not forget about you, ideally. Where are you at? Oh, I had you scouting. That explains why I forgot about you. You were doing important job that I neglected.
We are focused.
Oh, I changed your hotkey too, since the Warp Prism took your role, arguably. So,
I return to serve.
let's try and finish this off. Since my economy here is about done, let's continue with the gas. And so far, we're looking pretty good. We did get our income down. I could spend all that easily. Now, we gotta make sure this is terrifying. Also, I need to kill this, because these are actually slowing me down more than I realize. It's because of this dang funnel I wasn't aware of. We have some shields that reduce the range damage. And I think... let's keep building. Those should have probably been Archons and all that, but that is game. I almost surrendered out of habit. That would have been embarrassing too. But morally, it would have been a victory. Was it a good victory? Hard to say. I'm still trying to learn the Adepts, mind you. And that wasn't really the most impressive use of backdooring with the Adepts. I had better luck poking at the front and faking him out as I did. If possible, maybe I could have attacked the natural while he was panicking. Since you can cancel that ghost form, as I mentioned before, that ghost... I forget what that phase teleport was called, actually. But that's a really powerful micro potential, and as you can see how annoying it would be being the defender, which is why I'm going to have to get used to it in the Protoss mirror match for the same reason. But at least in that case, I can wall off. I just need to keep a probe there constantly, which is what I really dislike. After my remarks about leaving a probe down on the low ground when face off against Zerg.